Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating mystery from the writings of Xu Feng. We're talking about our diets, but not just physical food. We're looking at our mental diets too, and how the very things we consume literally dictate the reality we attract around us. It's wild when you think about it. It's a complete journey from the food on our plates to the ultimate state of our spiritual environment. So let's get into it.
To kick things off, imagine this highly relatable anecdote from the author. Let's say your home is absolutely spotless. You know, the bedroom, living room, kitchen, the courtyard, everything is so clean that your friends constantly praise you for it. You literally never see a single fly. But then, a friend drops by with a gift, a box of fresh shrimp and 2 fish, straight from Mozambique. You leave them in the kitchen, and bam, within 30 minutes, a massive swarm of flies has mysteriously invaded. Where on earth did they come from? And more importantly, why did they suddenly show up in a perfectly clean house?
Well, the answer comes down to simple physical reality. Those flies were entirely driven by the fishy smell. They relentlessly track foul odors, and get this, they could potentially zero in from up to a 10-kilometer radius. That's huge. Wherever there's a foul odor, flies are absolutely sure to follow. But here's the really critical leap the author makes. By eating those shrimp and fish, you are internalizing that odor. Sure, your body digests the food quickly, but you've absorbed that smell. You literally carry it around with you.
And this brilliantly illustrates our core thesis for today's explainer. We already know that people with high blood sugar physically attract fleas and mosquitoes, right? Well, in the exact same way, flowers draw butterflies, while fishy smells lure flies. What you attract in your orbit, whether it's the beautiful butterflies or the annoying flies, depends entirely on your physical state. It all boils down to whether you are fragrant or whether you are foul.
Section 1. Ancient Wisdom on Diet. More than just rituals.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is how this philosophy connects the dots across entirely different traditions. Think about it. The Bible forbids the meat of unclean animals. Islam prohibits pork and animals that died naturally. Buddhism rejects meat entirely, right along with pungent foods like garlic and onions. And Taoists? They are required to fast and bathe before practices or rituals. The author points out that these aren't just arbitrary, playful rituals. No, they represent a shared, profound wisdom aimed at maintaining both physical and spiritual cleanliness. They were all highly aware of this fragrant versus foul dynamic.
To make this a bit more personal, the author shares a really specific anecdote about his own grandmother. She was an illiterate woman, yet she somehow knew countless celestial stories. But the absolute most remarkable detail about her was her diet. Even though she wasn't a Buddhist, she never ate meat, not even eggs, from the time she was a little kid. She just intuitively avoided these foods. And to the author, this signaled that there's a profound, hidden reason behind dietary purity that goes way beyond any formal religion.
Which brings us to this heavy philosophical concept. Quote, meat eaters become heavy or dull. Vegetable eaters become light or clear. Grain eaters become wise. Air eaters become spiritual. It's honestly the ultimate expression of the old saying, you are what you eat. And the author adds 2 more crucial insights to this idea. Foul foods make one smell, while eating flowers makes one fragrant.
Because this is grounded in undeniable physical reality. If you eat garlic or onions, your mouth is going to smell for hours. Eat lamb, you get a strong odor. Eat fish, you carry a fishy smell. The conclusion here is simple but incredibly profound. Whatever we consume, we literally carry its specific taste and smell with us. We essentially become a walking vessel of the things we ingest.
Which leads the author to pose this rather provocative question. If we frequently eat animal meat, could we become animals in the next life? Now, regardless of whether you believe in reincarnation or not, the underlying message here is clear. The path of worldly cultivation is serious business. What we consume deeply, deeply impacts our future. It's definitely not something to be taken lightly.
Section 2. Consuming spiritual food. What is your mental diet?
So the author argues that just like fish leaves a physical, fishy smell, consuming dark or limiting media directly pollutes our internal spiritual state. It makes sense, right? People who constantly read ghost stories are going to have ghosts on their minds. Those who watch pornographic films will have minds filled with lustful thoughts. And according to the text, those who spend their lives reading atheistic books are going to focus entirely on the idea that existence determines consciousness. They end up believing humans are the absolute pinnacle of life, rejecting the greatest creator, and thinking they can overcome fate entirely on their own. Basically, whatever you feed your mind becomes.
And this absolutely extends to our societal obsessions, which act as total mental junk food. If you have an obsession with money, your mind is entirely consumed by economic accounts. An obsession with power? That means you're constantly dreaming of climbing status ladders. An obsession with fame means your brain is entirely occupied with plotting how to become famous, or at least how to associate with famous people. You're filling your internal environment with greed, status, and vanity, and that leaves literally no room for a pure, fragrant spiritual state.
Section 3. Your environment reflects you. The ultimate truth of attraction.
This entire concept escalates across a fascinating hierarchy. The universal law of like attracts like applies to absolutely everything. At the very base level, carcasses attract eagles. Foul food attracts flies. Moving up to human society, wealth naturally gathers businessmen. Entertainment gathers the general public. Crime plots attract criminals. But as we elevate to the fragrant and the pure, things change. Where wise people gather, there are saints. And where saints gather, you attract divine spirits and the greatest creator. It's a perfect mirror. You get exactly what you put out.
To really summarize this core philosophy, the author leaves us with this beautifully poetic quote: "Fragrance draws butterflies to flowers, and peace lets thoughts flow. A clean body wards off illness, while a pure heart invites celestial beings." It's just a powerful reminder that maintaining a pure body and a pure heart isn't merely about following a set of rules. It's the literal mechanism for inviting peace and higher spiritual connection into your life.
So we're going to end this explainer with a direct challenge from the text. I want you to look at the people, the circumstances, and the energies currently gathered in your own life right now. Really look at your environment. Are you surrounded by butterflies, or are you surrounded by flies? Because the answer to that is going to tell you the ultimate truth about your internal state. Are you fragrant, or are you foul? Think about that for a bit, and we'll catch you on the next explainer.